Fox voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, inviting you to join me and Jason Alessi for the home team every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on the TAN Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, the home team with Paul Porter. Special guests, prizes, and your phone calls about the Bucs, Lightning, Rays, USF, Sun, FSU, Florida, and more. Talk to you this Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
The Tampa Bay Sun have won the USL Super League Championship.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Father and Son's home team on the TAN Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live. The home team is brought to you by Father and Son's Windows and Doors, locally owned and operated with offices in Tampa Bay and Orlando. Visit them on the web at faswd.com and mention the home team for special pricing. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And thank you, Pat Porter. Welcome to the home team. This is Jason Alessi. Paul Porter is actually out this week, taking a little vacation, but I'm always happy to be joined in studio by our good friend, Marshall O'Shields. Marshall, good morning. Good, and we've got a lot going on this week. A lot to happening. We're going to touch on the Stanley Cup Finals results. We're going to touch on the NBA Finals. Big Game 7 tomorrow coming up between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers. But the news this week dominated by our Tampa Bay Rays, and it's stuff going on both off the field and on the field. On the field has been fabulous of late, and we're going to get into that. But the big story is the potential sell and the possibility of getting new ownership here for the Rays. Stu Sternberg, apparently he's been in advanced talks to sell the team to a group led by Patrick Zalupski. He runs a home building company out of Jacksonville. He, and along with other investors, they're the potential lead buyers for the Rays. The team is being valued at around $1.7 billion. It's being reported. But, Zalupski, he's from Jacksonville. He's a president of a company called Dream Finders Homes. He's also a member of the board of trustees of the University of Florida, and him and a group of others, some of the other names, Bill Cosgrove, Ken Babby, and it's been listed other prominent Tampa Bay investors. It seems like this group is committed to keeping the team in the Tampa Bay area. Some details are not being released, until the sale goes through. But obviously, they're going to have to decide what to do about the stadium situation. Do they explore, looking back at the deal they had in place in St. Pete, do they look at putting the stadium in Tampa? That's going to be determined. And obviously, the sale has not gone through yet. They're in advanced talks, so the hope is it's moving in that direction. But I think as Rays fans, this is very encouraging news. I think we've kind of wanted for a long time to move on from Stu Sternberg. His failure to put money into the team, constantly getting rid of some of our better players. And then, of course, the latest with, him kind of killing the possible stadium deal that we had to build the new stadium next to the Trop. I think he's just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I think the baseball higher-ups, the commissioner, Rob Manfred, and other owners had grown weary and frustrated of his antics as well, and feel that not only is he not good for the Rays organization, but really what he's doing is not good for Major League Baseball in general. And they've stated before they definitely want a baseball team in this market. They wanted the team to stay in the Tampa Bay area. They like this market. And I think finally the pressure they're putting on him, it looks like he's on the verge of selling. And, and this, again, the team has been successful under his watch. They've won. They've been to 2 World Series. They've been to the playoffs. But the commitment to putting a championship caliber team, and then that comes with keeping their good players for extended periods of time, which Sternberg just has failed to do. Marshall, but you touched on it too. You kind of felt that this was what the direction it might be moving in after the stadium deal was nixed, that they would eventually force him to sell, and it looks like they're going to stay.
Yeah, when I was on back in, I don't remember, February or March. By the way, if you're watching on Facebook Live, you can see me patting myself on the back because I was pretty adamant about this, and it's not over yet. But what Stu did, we talked about this, was he's exhausted every possible resource and negated every chance to move forward in this area and become a legitimate Major League Baseball owner who's committed to winning. He everything that came up, he found a way to shoot it down. The only thing that he didn't shoot down was trying to play between two cities, Montreal and here, and the ownership group, the Major League owners and baseball poo-pooed that and shot that down. And ever since that happened, he's been a little bit hurt and treated a little bit differently because he's never really come out for the commitment to own the team, stay in this area, and spend money. He just racks up all that luxury money and everything else, and the expansion money. And I think that all the owners in baseball are tired of it. And this is being forced by Major League Baseball, being that this is the 11th market in the country. They want a team here. I do think that this group has probably had some talks or, under the table about where this team will play. I think that the city council of St. Pete is going to do everything they can to work with this group to keep it there. But I do feel that they want it in Tampa. And I think they're going to try their best to find a place in Tampa where they can play.
You would think they would have had to have taken that in consideration moving into to buy the team. I mean, we know that this team needs a stadium. I mean, their current stadium, their main stadium, Tropicana Field, is being repaired after the damage from the hurricanes. But they need a permanent, long-time home, and I'm sure that that's they're planning ahead with that. But this. Again, if this can go through and the sale can be made, I think this is something that we can get excited about. There was a lot of uncertainty, when the last stadium deal was, ceased to be, and the thinking is, okay, what does the future hold for this team? Where is it going to play? The fear about it moving, out of city and out of state, and us losing this team, I think that was a real concern. But hopefully, hearing this news, when you think that you realize that your team could be here to stay because you've got ownership that's committed to making it stay and to working here, that's a relief for as fans. You want to be able to focus on the field. You don't want to have to worry about is the team I root for going to be leaving.
Well, I also think that now as a fan, we can have hope that maybe this group will want to win a championship and do that just a little bit extra. And you saw it this week. You saw the perfect example this week. You saw, and we knew that there was no way that the Rays would be involved in any deal for a guy like Rafael Devers. And here he ends up going to the Giants in a huge deal. He's one of the top 5 hitters in the league over the last few years. And they make a score for some minor leaguers in cash. And Boston ends up paying most of his salary. And the Giants and Buster Posey, the GM there, get off with a steal. And you just can't see the Rays making that one deal. Like, can you imagine the way they're playing now if they were to stick a guy like Devers into their lineup? Yeah. You know what that would do for Brandon Lau and Josh Lowe,
right,
and some of these other guys? Because we all hit as part of a lineup. And if everybody around you is not hitting, then you're not going to hit because you're not going to get pitched to. And so they never seem to make that 1 or 2 moves that could put them over the top. And like you said, they've won, but they haven't won a championship. And I'm hoping that a new ownership group will inject some life into the fact that we could win another championship in the Tampa Bay area.
That's the excitement. And so, I think that's got everyone talking here. So that's the hope that this deal can go through. And, we're going to have a commitment to winning. Turning to the Rays on the field, it's that they are now 1.5 games back of the Yankees. The Yankees went onto a slide. The Rays have been playing great as of late. Last night, the first game of a 3-game series against the Detroit, the league leading, the best record,
20 games over 500.
Detroit Tigers. And the Rays put it to them, winning 14-8, scoring 14 runs. They have really been hitting the ball well. Yandy Diaz had 2 homers last night. And I know, Matt, you were there. Marsh, you were there. Were you
No,
there?
I wasn't there last
You were something. No. But Matt, you were there last night.
Yeah,
so
I was.
that's right.
I was there last night.
So
Yeah.
how was it? I mean, crowd excited?
There was a buzz in the ballpark. Granted, half of it was filled with Tigers fans because Detroit fans travel well.
I figured that.
But there was a buzz in the ballpark until the Rays scored 8 runs in the first 3 innings and ended up knocking Jack Flaherty out of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you sat through what's going to happen a lot, almost hour rain delay last night.
The first pitch was scheduled for 7:05, didn't start until 7:55.
That's not bad in comparison. No. Sometimes rain delays can last several hours.
Exactly, but by the time Paul was texting me about it this morning. By the time I left the ballpark last night, it was about 11:05. By the time we walked out last night,
right,
which isn't too terrible. It was about a 3-hour ball game for combined 22 runs.
And the game today is at 12:10. And tomorrow at 12:10. That's no doubt to avoid the rain.
Nice and comfortable out there today.
Yeah, all 90-something degrees of it.
Nice out there today.
Yeah, for those people who always criticize the Trop about what a horrible stadium. Well, I wonder how you're going to feel.
I'll take inside anytime, like I always said. This team, we always knew. I think one of the great things about this team is that whenever something can come through that you talk about all the time, like their starting pitching has just been absolutely fabulous. Yep. And they said that in the beginning of the year, starters were going to be great. Well, sometimes you say that, and then this guy goes down, or that guy goes down, or this guy doesn't live up to the billing.
So I haven't had Shane McClanahan all year.
But they still were so deep, and the starting pitching carried them through the first 40 games when they were minus some guys, and now they're starting to hit the ball, and the starting pitching is still doing their job. And now you're starting to see the results. And as crazy as it sounds, by the end of the weekend, they could be in first place. I do expect the Tigers to bounce back in a big way these next couple of days. I don't think the Rays will beat them 14-8 or anything like that, or the Tigers will beat them again. But I think the next 2 games will be really good, really competitive. And if you want to see a couple of really good teams, like I said, it's almost a shame it's at noon today because it's very hard to get out there in the heat. But what a great series. 2 of the best teams in the league going at each other.
Well, and again, there's something to be said about getting the momentum and getting the confidence. Things weren't looking good for the Rays early on. It was I think the feeling was this was a 500 team. A lot of people felt they're going to stay 500 and probably just about all the way through the season. But you get on that roll, and the young players and the hitters. I mean, you've had guys like Yandy Diaz and Brandon Lau have been with the Rays several years. They're consistently good. We kind of expect them to deliver. But the other, some of the younger players, Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero, and others who now have started hitting, and we've seen collectively the confidence level grow, and that's where they're at right now. They're at a very good place. They think they can. They know that they can do it, and they've beaten good teams. They went, into New York and swept the Mets. Now that kind of started a down spiral for the Mets at the moment, but they, beating Detroit, they've beaten other good teams. It's not that they're winning against teams that are average or not very good. They're beating some of the best teams in the league,
and that's how it goes. I mean, the baseball's baseball. That it's like all these teams can get on a roll and everybody's playing well. Then all of a sudden, who was it that just dropped got swept by the Rockies? Oh, it was the Nationals. You just go in there and all of a sudden, you think you're going to go in there and sweep a team that's won 9 games.
Right.
And that's just baseball. The Marlins are the same way. The Rays seem to own the Marlins, but the Marlins always give them a struggle. They beat them the first game, the last series, but the Rays did come back. But it's just that's baseball. But this team right now is just, they look like they're poised to keep moving forward, regardless of all the issues they've had this year with the stadium, with the selling talks, with everything that's going on.
Well, and,
not really having a home field advantage.
And that's another thing. Early on in the season, they were horrible playing at Steinbrenner Field. They were much better
Last
on
time
the road.
I was in here, we talked about
they just could not seem to win at all. And you say, was it psychological? I mean, what was the issue? But now, different story. They found their groove. A lot of it, so much of it, I think, is mental.
Well, and
when
guys
you start
came
hitting
back.
it,
You got Josh Lowe came back, and that's a big boost to that lineup. He's a solid player. You got Hassam Kim waiting to come back. You've got some of these younger guys that are starting to help out. It's just really, it's all the plan that they put together. Just seems like it could not have come to better. It comes any better.
And you have to again give credit to the Rays, despite I know the frustration with the Rays way, the way they do business, not holding on to some of their better players for extended periods of time. But the scouting department, they seem to find players to bring in that produce. They just, whoever they bring in, they lose key guys, they bring in other guys, and those guys, those players come out and they produce. Then once you start hitting,
as much as I don't want to say it, I just really hope it doesn't come down till we get to the trade deadline. The Rays are right there, and they won't make one move to maybe put them over the top and spend a little money, because if this sale doesn't go through, I see the same thing happening, and they'll say, we got enough. We don't need, you think Stu's going to spend any extra money now that he's selling the team?
Right.
Not a chance.
No.
Not a chance. If he didn't spend money before, he's definitely not spending any money now.
Yeah. So that's, we'll see what happens. And it is a long season. That's why in baseball, the ups and downs, the teams will go on winning streaks, they'll go on losing streaks. That's how the Rays have been able to catch up with the Yankees, because the Yankees have dropped, I think, 7 out of 8. Mm-hmm. And Toronto is up there as well too. They're kind of all bunched up right at the top. In there. Yep. Yeah, they're all bunched up at the top of the AL East right now. So we'll see how it goes through the rest of the way, and where this team will end up come season's end. But it's very promising right now. From what it looked like early on, where you didn't have much hopes of this being a special season with the way they were playing at the time. Now, very different. And the added news with the possible sale, that's, I think, uplifting a lot of spirits as well.
The other thing that's going to be interesting is, can they sustain? They got a lot of road trips coming up because of the summer heat here and the way they scheduled it. It'll be interesting to see if they can continue playing at a pace where they're playing 650 or 600 baseball over that long stretch.
They've been good on the road, though. Yep. They found ways to win on the road. So even though they're playing better at home, but again, they started the season playing much better on the road, and so I think we have confidence that they could do it. They could go on the road anywhere.
Yeah, but
and win.
That's what we talked about, Jason. That's baseball. Like we said, they can't win at home. Now they're winning at home. Now we're saying, they can win on the road, and now they're going to go into this stretch where they struggle on the road. And that's just baseball. Yeah. That's what happens. And so that's why you said it's a long season. There's a lot of peaks and valleys. And like I said, I just wish that they would just make that one move that they could just push over the top. Like Devers would have been the perfect fit here. He would have been the perfect fit here because you're really not, you had a place to put him. Caballero could play a bunch of positions. You could have put him at third. You could, it would have been the ultimate back in the Red Sox face if he would have traded within the division. But the Rays, they're just not going to do that.
Right. The money is an issue there. I like the player. It was a Chandler Simpson they had brought up. I thought he was promising. But who came back because they put him back down?
Well, they put him back down, but they've got Curtis Mead that they've been liking. They said they did it the Rays way. Simpson has options. So he was the one that was going to go down. He's a young guy. Yeah. They can put him back and forth without costing him any money. They don't have to pay him the major league salary. They put him down, and they'll call him back up like they always do. Right around September 1st, when they need a little boost, and it won't cost them any money, and they won't lose his options. And that's the one thing about this franchise that they've always done is they continually look long term, and that's why they're always looking for pitching, because pitching is long term. That you win with pitching in baseball, you just do. Now
Shane Baz on the mound last night got the win. Yep.
I wore this hat today because on the side of it, the Texas Rangers, it says championships. It says champions. It doesn't say that on any of my Rays gear. Okay, so that's why I'm saying the year the Rangers won, they went out and they got Max Scherzer, and that put him over the top. Something like that has to happen for the Rays if they're going to get over the top. Just my opinion, because they don't have anybody on that team that's ever won a championship.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's tough to win a championship. I want to put out there, even teams that have spent a lot of money. The Dodgers always spend money, but for a while before they won championships in recent years, the last one was what, in 1988,
right? But if the Rays spend some, it's still not a lot.
Yeah,
just spend some,
right. We're going to hit a break right now, but give out the phone numbers here. Please call in 727-441-3000. 727-441-3000. Discussing the big news with the Rays. Of course, we're going to come back. We're going to talk some about the hockey, the Stanley Cup Finals, the NBA Finals, and some other topics. But please call in on the Father and Son Windows and Doors Home Team here on TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
For the first time ever, the Home Team is endorsing a place for all of you fishermen. And the winner is Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton Road in Largo. Betts, that's Betts, is open 7 days a week from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need from clothing to AFCO and skinny water culture to Shimano and Daiwa reels. They also do repair of your equipment. Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton in Largo, and online at customfishing.com.
If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments, no interest, and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, faswd.com. That's faswd.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the Home Team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. There when you need them, FAS Windows and Doors, faswd.com. Beach Dogs Friday are back this summer. On the last Friday home game of the month, the Clearwater Threshers become their alternate identity, the Clearwater Beach Dogs. Presented by Veterinary Emergency Group. Beach Dog Fridays are dog-friendly, and each dog ticket benefits a local pet charity each month. Bring your pup to play on the berm, eat a hot dog, and maybe meet our bat dog, Lucy May. Dog tickets are available for purchase in person at the Baycare Ballpark box office. All other tickets are available at threshersbaseball.com. Sooner or later, you're going to need a plumber. It's just a fact of life. Want somebody honest and reliable? The plumber I use is the Bearded Plumber. I've known Thomas since his high school days and now is an established plumber who offers 24-hour-a-day full service because plumbing emergencies don't wait. Keep this number handy. You know you're going to need it. It's 866-882-3273. The Bearded Plumber, 866-882-3273.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning and host of the Home Team Sports Radio Show. I'm here to tell you about our educational home team, Cambridge Christian School. No longer Tampa Bay's best-kept secret, CCS is the perfect blend of academic rigor and a biblical worldview foundation, serving families for over 60 years. Come see why we are the #1 rated Christian school in Tampa and visit us at ccslancers.com.
Family owned and operated, T&D Golf on West Waters Avenue in Tampa is the place to find everything you need for your golfing experience at affordable prices. Club repair is available as well. As a longtime sponsor of the home team, T&D wants to make sure you get the very best quality at a price you can afford. Open at 4205 West Waters Avenue, half mile west of Northdale Mabry, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. T&D Golf, making golf affordable.
My favorite restaurant in all of Tampa Bay is J. Alexander's at the corner of Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of I-275 in Tampa. The prime rib is to die for. Steaks are just as mouthwatering, and that's not all. Seafood like salmon, ahi tuna, shrimp, or crab cakes. Don't forget the salads and appetizers like my favorite, French onion soup, and top it all off with a homemade dessert. J. Alexander's in Tampa at Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of 275. Open 7 days, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Reservations suggested but not necessary.
The Florida State Fairgrounds is home to so much more than just the fair that runs every February. Concerts, trade shows, conferences, and competitions are all just a few of the things you'll find at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater all year long. For the very latest information and schedules, visit floridastatefair.com. The Florida State Fair and so much more, all happening at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll see you at the Florida State Fairgrounds.
Now let's get back to the home team with the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi, joined with Marshall O'Shields. And we're going to get the phone lines in just a second. I want to mention also congratulations to the Tampa Bay Sun. They beat Fort Lauderdale United last week, 1-0. They won the inaugural USL Super League Championship. Of course, the first year of the Women's Soccer League. Job well done to the Sun in their very first year. That is great news. Brings another championship to one of our Tampa Bay teams. So congratulations to the Sun. And we've got with us on the phone lines Donald from Lutz. Donald, good morning. Welcome to the home team.
Hey, good morning. You okay?
Oh, yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Excellent. I'm out here in Port Richey in the kayak doing some fishing.
Very nice. Good.
No catching yet, but you never know. It'll happen soon.
Well, they're talking to us. They'll bring the fish in. I'm sure the fisher will listen to
Right.
what we have to say, and they'll be curious. They'll come around, and you'll get a huge catch.
Are you after some reds? I heard the trout have been pretty good lately.
Yeah, I was out on Tuesday, caught a bunch of trout. So I'm out here in the flats in about it says 4.5 feet of water according to my Garmin, but no trout. I'm seeing some bait fish, but it's weird. But lots of grass, but it's still beautiful out to be here.
Yes, it is. It's always good being out on the water, regardless of if they're biting or not. I mean, that's what I learned. In the past when I would go out fishing. It's just a pleasant day out there, being out with nature.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Hey, how about them Rays?
How about those Rays?
1.5 games out of first place. And Marshall, I think you're right. I think they're going to be in first place after the weekend.
Well, the way the Yankees are trending, I can see it. They're just, they're going to play better baseball. But right now, as long as they keep losing, the Orioles seem to have their number. They got them last night, and hopefully they can get them at least one more time this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to say, I know Paul's not there, but I don't know if he's listening. But I want to thank him for the prizes because I won the NHL contest.
Oh, yes.
I didn't pick the Panthers. You pick the number and you get what you get.
Right.
So
that was so lowly rated in the ratings. It was pathetic. So I think that's another thing about the Panthers. They're just not a national team.
It's interesting. My mom doesn't keep up with sports like I do, but she always checks, on social media and other things, and they always usually list scores. The hockey score didn't come up. She actually had to search for it to see, what the results.
I mean, I think for sure they were the best team, and I know that somebody said that one of the players said that the Lightning gave them the toughest challenge in the playoffs, and I think that was because, believe it or not, even though we didn't like it, we were a lot more physical with them than the other teams were. But they were clearly the best team, and they were built to win a championship, and they won another championship.
Yeah.
Now, whether they can sign all those guys and keep them again and make another run, that's going to be the question.
Yep.
At least it's in Florida. The Sunshine State, where there's no ice here, but yet we win championships.
Hockey rules right now in Florida. Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Absolutely, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can let another reason for Canada to hate us that much more, which is just fine by me.
There we go. But that's all I got. I really don't have much.
And believe it or not, there is some rumors flying around from Spittin' Chicklets and some other hockey talk shows that the Lightning might be interested in one Connor McDavid if it comes about.
Wow.
Trade maybe Kucherov.
Possibly. He's only got 1 year left on his deal.
You'd have to do something major.
Oh, it would be I mean, it would be the major. You're talking about the best player in the league.
Right.
But, I mean, as a fan, Okay.
I could see
Okay.
Anthony might have just broke something. I know he talking about how much he loves Connor McDavid.
Yep.
I don't know if he's listening.
Well, it's always interesting when that talk is out there. I mean, coming not just from Tampa people, but national people.
Well, listen, the Lightning, they're a destination. I mean, obviously, you could say the Panthers too because they've won it the last 2 years. But Lightning are a place a lot of players would want to come. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers have won 2. I heard talk of a dynasty because they've been to 3 like the Lightning, but I don't think there's going to be dynasties in sports anymore just because of the salary cap
that's
thing.
The Lightning were affected by the salary cap and by free agency, and in the Panthers, again, several names. I mean, I wrote some of them down, the Sam Bennett, Eric Ekblad, Nate Schmidt, Brad Marchand. I think.
Well, I mean,
Reinhardt,
look what happened. Yeah. Look what happened to the Blackhawks when the Blackhawks beat us. They had their run, and then they lost Taves and Kane, and and all of a sudden things start to change quickly.
Right. Teams' fortunes change. Donald, how about you're hearing about the Rays' potential new ownership? What do you think of that?
I was just about to mention that. I'm very excited about that, and I hope it is the Tampa group because I really don't want them moving.
If it's this group, I mean, their intention is to keep them in the area. So that's great news. I mean, I think everyone can try to, exhale a little bit where you don't have to worry about that. And again, there is the issue of the stadium and where they're going to build it, where they're going to play. But like we said, I'm sure that these guys, this group they've thought about that and been in discussions prior to negotiating to buy this team because they know that that's going to be the main issue, one of the major issues that they're going to have to address right away.
Yeah, I hope they stay in Tampa. I hope they build a stadium, somewhere in Hillsborough County, because I know Mayor Jane Castor talked about it too. Talked about the Rays coming to Tampa, so that would be cool.
Yeah, and I'm honestly good where if it's in St. Pete or Tampa, I really don't mind it. It's part of the area. I just want to have a team to stay here the long term.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key.
Yep. So, that's the key. Absolutely. It's great for our economy and great for us.
Well, just the fact that the minority people are Tampa people, they're going to do everything they can to try because that benefits them if they keep it here.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Very
well.
All right. Well, good luck out there, Donald.
Thank you, Dave. Yep. Good fishing. Hopefully they'll start biting now. They're listening to us on the home team.
We were probably scaring them off.
Right.
Well, never know. Yeah, we have that effect on some people. You too, Donald. We'll talk to you next week. All right.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, and and going back to the Stanley Cup Finals, so we'll go ahead and touch on that. Obviously, the Panthers equaled what the Lightning did in recent years, which was going to 3 straight Stanley Cups, winning 2 in a row. So but now the state of Florida has had a team in there 6 straight years. You think back. 30 plus years. The Lightning came into the league in 92, the Panthers the next year in 93. And obviously it was by the hockey traditionalists at the time frowned upon that. That was, it kind of looked as, a joke having a hockey in a warm weather state, a southern state. That just was breaking with the tradition. Looking at the success now, though, and of course, so many other teams that have gone all throughout the country, including the South and out west. I think this is good for the sport. I mean, it's expanded the sport. It's created interest. You have people, kids in the state of Florida playing hockey. Starting playing hockey. Who would have ever thought that? So I think to expand interest in the sport, I think has been is a great thing. And the fact that the power Florida is the number one power place for hockey right now.
What we're really excited about the sale of the Rays is, and it just ties into the ownership groups with the Panthers and the Lightning, is that the Rays have been marketed horribly ever since they were here. Marketed horribly.
Yeah.
So this was going to bring a chance for a team to come in. I mean, you look at the Lakers, $10 billion just for the brand name. They don't own the building. They don't own anything. And the word is they were run like a rinky-dink organization. They don't put money into their scouting. They don't put money into their coaching. So this is a potential for the Rays to upgrade every area of their organization with the sale, and that's what I'm hoping is going to happen.
Exactly. Big time. And, going back to hockey, I know the Lightning are trying to get back to being a championship team. What's your opinion about can the Panthers continue this, or you don't think so? They'll take a step backward maybe like the Lightning did.
Well, it's just going to be how creative can they get with the salary cap?
Yeah.
It's going up again.
Right.
So, it's just all those things come into it. Ownership has a big part of it. General managers have a big part of it. Can we sign this guy? Who's more important? Who can we afford to lose? Then you got to go find those couple of pieces. Brad Marchand, as much as we hate him, was the perfect fit for them.
Sure
and
it was,
It worked unbelievably well. That happened with the Lightning when they went out and got Coleman and Goudreau that year and brought those guys in. When they brought Hagel in, at the right times. You bring these guys in, you got to let the Stamkoses go, but things like that happen. You have to make your decisions and then live with it. So it'll be tough, but I think they've got potential to do it again and the reason I say that is because they were just dominant in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were They made Carolina look bad. They made the Lightning look bad. Nobody really gave them a series. Even the Edmonton Oilers, they set a record, the Panthers did, for the number of minutes led in a championship series, being ahead.
Yeah. Well, really, the two games that the Oilers won were overtime, and really the Panthers dominated in pretty much all the other games. And actually, last year's Stanley Cup, even though the Panthers jumped out to a 3-0 lead,
they came back.
But they came back. That went to Game 7. That was a more competitive series than it was this year. So, as much as we don't like it, it was impressive by the Panthers. We're going to hit a break right now, but let's give out the phone numbers. Please call in at 727-441-3000. And we'll be back with you after this on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network. AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach is back and better than ever. Beautiful sunsets on sparkling Clearwater Beach, relaxing times with a wide variety of menu items, from sandwiches, seafood, landlubbers' favorites, desserts, and your favorite alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks is what you'll find at the Palm Pavilion. Located at 10 Bay Esplanade on Clearwater Beach, they're saying there's no place like this place any place else, so this must be the place truly applies. Come and enjoy a relaxing lunch, dinner, or drinks in one of Tampa Bay's gems that visitors from all over the world make a destination. The Palm Pavilion, 10 Bay Esplanade, right on Clearwater Beach. Visit them and check out their menu on the web at palmpavilion.com. That's palmpavilion.com. If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments, no interest, and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, FASWD.com. That's FASWD.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the Home Team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. There when you need them, FAS Windows and Doors, FASWD.com. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Buccaneers, and the Home Team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine. You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory.
If you fishermen and ladies need anything for your fishing enjoyment, you'll find it at Bet's Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Almerton and Largo. Rods and reels by Shimano and Daiwa, frozen bait for saltwater fishing, clothing from AFCO and Skinny Water Culture, Costa Del Mar sunglasses, and more. Visit them online at customfishing.com. Open 7 days a week from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Bet's Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Almerton in Largo.
Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
Time for more of the home team. Here again are Paul Porter and Jason Alessi.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi, joined by Marshall O'Shields this week. And we've been discussing the big news about the possible new ownership of the Tampa Bay Rays going on. Obviously, Stu Sternberg, he's been in talks with a group led by Patrick Zalupski out of Jacksonville. There's a possibility of buying the team. And, of course, we discussed the Stanley Cup Finals results, the Florida Panthers winning their second straight Stanley Cup over the Edmonton Oilers. And switching over to the NBA Finals, we've got, they call it the two best words in sports, Game 7. Tomorrow night, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers staved off elimination on Thursday night, not only beating the Thunder, but blowing them out, winning by 17 points. And so they have forced Game 7 back in Oklahoma City tomorrow. This will be the first Game 7 in NBA Finals since 2016. When LeBron James led the Cavaliers in an upset win over the Golden State Warriors. I think it's interesting in the NBA. For so long, you would see the same teams in it year in and year out. I mean, the Cleveland and Golden State actually played in 4 straight NBA Finals in recent years. And you'd always usually see one of the two teams. Of course, going back many years, you think the rivalry between the Lakers and the Celtics back in the 80s. The Pistons were in there for a while. The Chicago Bulls, winning 6 championships in the 90s. Then you had the dynasty of the Spurs. You had the Miami Heat, when LeBron James was there, along with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. You just tend to see a lot of the same teams over and over again. Well, this is the 7th season, I believe, going back to 2019, where you've had 2 different teams from the previous season in the NBA Finals every year. We're going to have, the 7th different NBA champion in those seasons. And I think that's exciting. I think that's very good for the sport of basketball. And what's interesting about that is the NFL, which typically you look at as having the most parity of any of the other sports, they've actually had the dynasties in recent years. The Chiefs, the Eagles, the same teams over. Of course, we saw the Patriots for so long until Tom Brady left, but you've seen a lot of the same teams there in the NFL year in and year out. Where basketball, it's kind of shifted, and and some some might like the other way. Some might like the dynasties where you see the rivalries like between the Lakers and Celtics form, or the Golden State and Cleveland. What's your take on it? Are you more of a dynasty fan and like seeing the same teams to see if one of the teams that's been dominant can get knocked off, or do you like seeing two different teams each year?
I think dynasties are boring for the average fan. Like they're great for the city that you're in. Like Chiefs fans love this, things like that. Golden State fans loved it. Cavaliers fans loved it, or Bulls fans loved it. But I think for the sport, this is very interesting for the NBA because this is a different type of finals because you got a team and a young, hungry, deep Oklahoma City team that was the best team in the league all year against a Pacers team that's really deep but doesn't have superstar caliber, that has 4 or 5 guys averaging double digits. And most of the guys you didn't even know until they started playing in the finals.
Right.
And so they had everything break their way. Dame Lillard was down in the first round. The Cavaliers were riddled by injuries by the time they got to play the Cavs. And then the Knicks were beat up when they got to the Knicks. So everything is fallen in place. And I think that the Magic looked at that and said, you know what? If Indiana can do it, we're not that far away. So they went out and they made a huge deal for Desmond Bane from Memphis. And they brought in a guy that now they have what I would say their core 4 in Orlando that could, they gave the Celtics all they wanted this year in the playoffs. And you add a guy like Bane, you did give up 4 first-round picks, and you gave up Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Cole Anthony. And, I mean, it was a huge give-up. But, if the Magic make the playoffs and go deep, those picks are low.
Yeah.
So, potentially it's not that as big of a deal as it looks. But I really think that this finals has an interesting take to it. If Halliburton wasn't injured, I think it would be that much more interesting. But the one thing I'll say about Oklahoma City is, they have the MVP. He's Gilgeous-Alexander's an amazing player, but they have a home court advantage like none I've seen in a long time.
I certainly give the advantage to Oklahoma City. I think they were the better team going into the series. Obviously, they had the best record in the regular season in the NBA, and having that home court advantage in Game 7, I think, is a very, very big deal. So I give them the advantage. As an underdog person, I'm going for Indiana to win. I would love to see the Pacers pull the upset, but I kind of think the Thunder are the better team and should prevail. But again, these are two teams. Each one has only been to one NBA Finals in franchise history. The Pacers back in 2000 when they lost to the Lakers. When Shaq and Kobe were starting their dynasty run there, and then the Thunder in 2012 when they lost in 5 games to the Miami Heat when the Heat were in the midst of going to 4 straight NBA finals. It's interesting to look back to that Oklahoma City Thunder team. You had Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook on the same team. If those 3 guys could have put their egos aside and chosen to stay together and play together, how many championships
and won
for that
the championship
team?
that year, maybe, which might have changed it. You just don't know.
Yeah, but you always wonder about that.
But that's it. There's no superstar power in this final. I mean, Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP, but if you're not an NBA fan, you don't know who that guy is. Yeah, but I'm just saying that he was the best player all year.
Yeah, and that's the one thing with Oklahoma City. They're a young team, so that was kind of the one thing maybe going against them when the playoffs started. People thought their inexperience hurt them, but like any good team, you got to start somewhere. And even if you're young and inexperienced, if you're that good with a lot of talented players, hey, you certainly can win it all.
I think what you just said right there makes a lot of sense. I mean, if Oklahoma City can pull this off, is this the beginning of something for them for the next few years? But when you look at Indiana, you say, oh, they're not going to win 2 or 3 championships in a row, because you just look at their roster and you say, everything felt right. Guys are playing above their head. TJ McConnell, I mean, who knew who this guy was? That's what I'm saying.
He's an exciting player to watch.
They're just playing. They've got guys contributing that didn't contribute all year. I think Carlisle is a genius and very underrated.
Great coach.
And if he can pull this off and they can pull it off, I think it'd be really something. But it's definitely a Game 7 for the NBA. Hey, you got to love it. Sign me up.
Yeah, and you hope that the game lives up to the hype.
Yep.
You'd hate for nothing more than it to be a blowout or one side. I honestly, whoever wins,
right?
I want to see a good, close, competitive game.
Every game in the series up to Game 6 was great. You know, you had comebacks, you had, it was crazy. Every game was really good until the other night when Oklahoma City went, we thought we were just going to stroll in here and this was going to end.
You had
and Halliburton's hurt. He's not going to play.
Right, they definitely had
and not only did that go that way, but what that allowed them to do was rest those guys. They took Halliburton out in the third period. He never played it. He doesn't have to play anymore.
Right.
Because you get ready for the finals. So, yeah, it's going to be something.
That's exciting, but Game 7 is a big deal. You played this the whole series, and it comes down now to one game. So we're looking forward to that tomorrow night, and we'll see. And that's big news with the Magic. I hadn't heard that that trade for Desmond Bane, but yeah, you add him with Paolo Banchero. You got Wagner.
The core four. You got a chance.
Jalen Suggs.
Yep, you got a chance.
So yeah, in the Magic, they've been moving in the right direction. Their struggle to keep players healthy has, I think, held them back the last couple of years, but they definitely needed another piece to that puzzle.
But again, what it is you don't have a dominating team in the East. You saw the Cavs fall out this year. Boston is in trouble. He's not coming back.
Jason
Tatum's coming back for it, not next year. So, they're in trouble. And they're looking at Indiana going, why not us? And I definitely could see it.
Well, and it's again, Oklahoma City and Indiana, two smaller market teams, both in the finals.
Giannis possibly leaving Milwaukee. There's just a lot of things happening in the East that make you think that, why not us if you're the Magic?
Things change, but I think it's exciting to see different teams in the mix.
Yep,
that's kind of a breath of fresh air for the NBA. So we've got that going on. Of course, the Rays are going to be hitting the break up here. Right. You know what? As we're coming up to the break, I'm going to give out the trivia question, our top of the hour trivia question. So for those who want to answer it through Facebook Live, and the question is this: who was the first team that the Tampa Bay Rays, actually then the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, played in franchise history? The very first opponent that the Rays faced in the history of their franchise, back in 1998.
Okay.
And I remember I was there. I had the good fortune of being at that game to witness the beginning of this team's history. So that is the question. You can answer that on Facebook and Marshall.
One of the things we wanted to hit before we go on a break is, we just did come into hurricane season. So there's not a better time to go and visit Father and Son's Windows and Doors and get everything checked out, because now's the time to do it before things happen. So, big sponsor, title sponsor of the show, give them a call, check them out, get things done before it gets too late.
Absolutely. So, we're hoping, keep our fingers crossed. It's not going to be like last year, but that's a good point. And
then what do we got going on at the bakery?
I want to mention at Alessi Bakery, well, our specials going through this week, which will continue today and tomorrow, our buy one, get one frees, our Tres Leche Parfait. That's the 3 milks cake parfaits, our buy one, get one free, our strawberry masu cake squares, buy one, get one free, and also our peanut butter cookies. Buy one, get one free. Those will be the specials through today and tomorrow. And then starting on Monday, June 23rd, and going through next weekend, we will have chocolate fudge cake squares. Buy one, get one free.
You got to have some red, white, and blue cookies coming up. You got to have some in there, right?
They're going to make all those. No question. They always they do it up nice for the 4th of July. Yes, indeed. But also the Boston cream cake squares, the vanilla cake, custard in the middle, chocolate on top. Those will be buy one, get one free. And our Snickerdoodle cookies with the cinnamon sugar on top will be buy one, get one free. But
now Matt will be handling the rest of the show because we're going to get something to eat.
We're going to get some deal. Absolutely. But, we got always a wide variety at Alessi Bakery. Cakes, cupcakes, guava turnovers, apple turnovers, eclairs, cannolis. We've got a great deli offering a variety of sandwiches, Cuban sandwiches, Italian subs, burgers, Philly cheesesteaks, hot entrees like chicken and yellow rice, roast pork, and piccadillo, and our famous scacciata pizza, our cold meat pizza, which is one of our staple items there. And at Alessi Bakery, we're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., located at 2909 West Cypress Street, in between MacDill and Armenia. So a lot going on there. And coming up for 4th of July, we'll have a lot of red, white, and blue stuff as well. But we're hitting the top of the hour break. We'll be back for the next hour here on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1350 and 1340, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Michael Wallace. Blue Origin has scrubbed this morning's scheduled launch of its Shepard spacecraft from West Texas because of high winds. 6 environmental advocates will have to wait for their chance at a quick suborbital flight. A new launch date has not been set yet. It'll be Blue Origin's 13th human flight and 33rd launch overall. Israel says it has struck Iran's Isfahan nuclear facility a second time and killed 3 Iranian commanders. Iran launched a new wave of missiles and drones. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi.
Iran is ready to consider diplomacy once again.
But he says Iran will not negotiate with the U.S. until the Israeli attacks stop. CBS's Christian Benavides says talks in Switzerland failed to produce a breakthrough.
Diplomatic efforts are ongoing in Geneva, led by European leaders. They're trying a last shot at convincing Iran to limit its nuclear program. What's unclear is if that means embracing President Trump's offer for direct talks. Iran called those off after U.S. ally Israel started bombing. On Friday, the president expressed concerns about Iran's potential nuclear capabilities.
And I think within a matter of weeks, or certainly within a matter of months, they're going to be able to have a nuclear weapon. We can't let that happen.
Part of the proposal by European leaders includes the return of UN inspectors, that the U.S. have a role in overseeing Iran's ballistic missile program, and to cut funding to proxies in the region, Hezbollah and the Houthis.
CBS News national security contributor and former Homeland Security official Samantha Vinograd.
In the public statements coming out of negotiations on Friday, it did not look like there was a lot of progress in getting Iran to agree to give up its nuclear program and to give away any and all capability to enrich uranium, even for what Iran claims to be for civilian purposes. However, I would imagine that in addition to the more public-facing negotiations, there are also secret back channels, and we don't have insights into what's happening there, and that's where I would imagine the real meaty discussions are taking place.
A federal judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration from stopping Harvard University from enrolling international students. A judge has freed Columbia graduate student Mahmoud Khalil from an ICE detention facility in Louisiana. The pro-Palestinian protest organizer spent more than 100 days in federal custody.
Justice prevailed, but it's long, very long overdue. This shouldn't have taken 3 months.
The Trump administration will appeal his release. The man who allegedly showed up at the home of Memphis Mayor Paul Young with a taser, rope, and duct tape has been charged with attempted kidnapping and stalking. Police say Trenton Abston told them he planned to confront the mayor about crime in Memphis. The mayor was not home at the time. Abston allegedly scaled a fence to get into the mayor's subdivision. No one was injured in the incident. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. Protect your auto, home, and business with Progressive and get 24/7 coverage. See if you can save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Enough
is enough.
Is enough.
And if you've heard enough of the conservative right-wing agenda that overwhelms the Tampa Bay AM radio band, won't you join me, Ed Golly, every Thursday morning at 10 o'clock for The Voice of Reason?
No spin, no alternative facts. Just refreshing straight talk concerning the events of the day.
That's Thursday, 10 a.m. on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
calling all radio enthusiasts with storm claims and legal questions. Join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. on WTAN FM 106.1 and AM 1340 for Legal Candy with attorney Candace Colucci. She's your guide to hurricane-related issues, property insurance law, and more sizzling legal topics. Get ready for a lively legal experience. Make your Saturday sweet with Legal Candy on WTAN FM 106.1 and AM 1340.
Listen to the latest pet trends with benefits on the Pet Buzz every Saturday morning. Join pet trendologist Charlotte Reed and veterinarian Dr. Michael Fleck as they talk all things pets. From animal health and wellness, money-saving tips, celebrity gossip, breaking news, and more. Their expert guests are in the know and in the now. To learn more about this unique program and its hosts, tune into the show on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Pet Buzz, Saturday mornings, 8 to 9 a.m.
Caregivers find the support they need on Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver. Heard every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., Linda and her caring and knowledgeable guests will bring you education, information, and resources, as well as a shoulder for caregivers. That's Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver, where you can find help and hope every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hey Tampa Bay, Tammy here with the BCC Coupon Book. Tune in during drive time 5 to 6 p.m. on the Tan Talk Radio Network to hear the BCC Coupon Book radio show. We feature local small business owners with great deals for many services and restaurants in our listening area. And anyone interested in branding your business and getting your name out there, give us a call at the BCC Coupon Book, 727-804-6082. Have a great day, Tampa Bay.
That's the BCC Coupon Book, Wednesdays 5 to 6 on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is Paul Porter, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, inviting you to join me and Jason Alessi for the home team every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, the home team with Paul Porter. Special guests, prizes, and your phone calls about the Bucs, Lightning, Rays, USF, Sun, FSU, Florida, and more. Talk to you this Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Tampa Bay Sun have won the USL Super League Championship.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Father and Son's home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live. The home team is brought to you by Father and Son's Windows and Doors, locally owned and operated with offices in Tampa Bay and Orlando. Visit them on the web at faswd.com and mention the home team for special pricing. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Pat Porter. And this is Jason Alessi, along with Marshall Shields. Paul Porter's taking this week off on the home team, but we've got a lot going on. In the first hour, we discussed, of course, the big news with the Rays and the potential sale of the team. Also, the fact that they keep rolling along on the field. They got a big win last night over the Detroit Tigers, 14-8. Speaking of which, I want to address the trivia question. The answer, who did the Rays play? Who was the very first team they played in franchise history? It was the Detroit Tigers, the same team that they're playing in a series this weekend. And David and John were the winners for the contest, answering that online on Facebook Live. It was the Detroit Tigers back in 1998. Remember that game? Wilson Alvarez was on the mound for the Rays to start that. But so that answers that. But we've got a lot going on. We're discussing the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals, and we're going to bring up some other good topics here as well. But we've got on the phone lines with us Anthony on the line. Anthony, welcome to the home team.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good information on the first hour. Let me first start off with saying that congratulations to any local team that's won a championship. My main thing is, precedes anything, it has to be respectful on the field when it comes to the national anthem. That's my main protocol. You have to respect our country, our flag, and show some character on the field. So let me go into the Rays. Now, it's undecided so far because it's still early in the plannings. If even if that, where the team's going to be placed. When they say Tampa Bay, specifically where in Tampa Bay will they be placed? For me, that makes a big difference. Third, I guess the main invincible 7 all-time goal scorers in the NHL will still be safe from having Connor McFraud included in there. Those 7 players are staple and safe in their placements, and I'm glad that the Tampa Bay Lightning was founded by one of those 7. So
on that topic, Anthony, I know Marshall brought up again. He was hearing some rumblings about the Lightning possibly looking at a trade for Connor McFraud, as you call him. What would be if something like that were to happen? I mean, let's say they send Kucherov to Edmonton and get Connor McDavid.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I'd rather have the introvert in their interviews, but explosive on the ice for us, Kucherov, than a guy who's been in he's going on his 10th year with Edmonton. And he's accumulated a whole bunch of recognized awards or trophies, but he's still a miss of the most vital that would place him. He's called the best player in the NHL. Well, listen, man, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, 4 or 5 years into Edmonton, and he won 4 Stanley Cups. Back to back. What has McFarday done? He hasn't done anything. I mean, he scored a goal in Game 5. Big deal. So did Austin Matthews. Where did it get them?
Sometimes things change though when you do win that. It took Michael Jordan a while to win the first championship. It took LeBron James a while. I think, and there's always even Peyton Manning, who obviously was a great quarterback, went to the playoffs for years before winning the first Super Bowl. And sometimes I know that hangs over a player, but it might take one time, the first time they do win it, and things start to change.
Well, it's not even a comparison. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a team player. Peyton was all about himself. He's like the Aaron Rodgers of the NFL. All self-consuming. You can't win anything when you're focused and everything's focused on you. That's the thing with Edmonton. Everything was focused on...
but let me stop you there, Anthony. They won championships. They won championships. So you can't say they don't win anything. Both of those guys you named, Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning, won championships. So you can't say that.
Well, how many championships did Rodgers win?
You didn't say how many. You said can't win. You said can't win. So I just want to correct you on that. But I get you. I'm with you. My
main premise is, are they team players? With Brady, he was all in with the guys. He considered himself a guy, even though he's winning all these accolades. He was a team player. He considered his guys a vital part of winning the championship.
I thought that Peyton Manning was a team player, though. I thought he was it was Aaron Rodgers. I thought he was a team player more at the beginning of his career. Later on in recent years, you could argue that it's gone the other way with him. But I think the other sometimes it for whatever reasons it doesn't work out for a player winning the title if they're not on the best team yet, or they run into a juggernaut, or injuries or other circumstances that keep them from winning. I mean, I know, Michael Jordan, he for a while couldn't get past the Pistons until finally he did, and then before winning their first championship. But all teams have their nemesis. Even going back to Wilt Chamberlain, who was for a while, and he could never beat Bill Russell with the Celtics, and he always loomed under, even though some people felt he was a better player than Russell, he didn't get the championships, but maybe that's not necessarily all on him.
In regards to Rodgers, when he took over for Brett Favre in Green Bay, he was a little bit humble, but somewhere along the line, his ego kicked in, and you could tell he was throwing his players in Green Bay under the bus because he wasn't winning and they weren't playing for him. When he went to New York, I don't know why in the world New York took a chance on that broken horse, but they did. And what did he do he didn't take them anywhere. The guy was just self-consumed, egotistical. That's the measure of a player when he becomes self-absorbed. It's all about him, and now I think the Steelers are taking a chance on him.
Yeah,
I don't understand that mentality. You know, a broken down, egotistical player like him, and the Steelers, which I don't like, but they're taking a chance on him. I don't know. And as far as let me go back to the Lightning. It's going to take Brisebois to take more initiative to get more toughened up players, because you saw what the stinking Panthers did to Toronto, to
us.
Carolina, and Edmonton. They just threw them. They just threw them left and right, and even the offensive players took on the attitude of being defensive. They just cut down any particular breakaways that Edmonton had. Look how they covered Verhaeghe. He's a speedy guy, but it's compared to the overhyped speedster in McFraudé, he was able to keep pace with him and challenged him, and then took the puck away from him. I've seen our guys skating side by side with players, the stick dangling by the side, not confronting the player, taking him off his run. We need players like that. And there's going to be a good time to work on that, Mr. Brisebois. And so, yeah, as far as Florida wouldn't have made it, to be honest, and just my perception, in my opinion, they wouldn't have made it this far without Marchand. I mean, his overtime goal against Toronto.
Yeah, but they won the year before without him. I think he added a great element, and it helped him over the top this year. But it's not about it wasn't about him the last 3 years.
Well, Florida lost quite a number of players too.
Yep.
So they were able to be.
Yeah, but they made a couple of trades. They got Bennett for Bart. They got Bennett in the Huberdeau trade. So
it'll be interesting to see what players they're able to hold on to, or what players they might lose, and how that'll affect them. And Anthony, great. We actually have to hit a break, Anthony, but there's always great comments.
Anthony, I love your hockey talk, but I want McDavid here if it's possible. I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Oh boy.
To be continued.
Yeah,
we'll okay,
see.
guys.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you for the call. Always great comments. But anyway, we're going to get out the phone numbers again. 727-441-3000. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Now, right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments and no interest and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, faswd.com. That's faswd.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the Home Team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. They're there when you need them. FAS Windows and Doors, faswd.com.
Much like the weather, your life could change at the drop of a hat. Don't be caught unprepared. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, but no matter what happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are provided for with a life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance. Meet with a local independent agent and secure a policy now to rest easy knowing you're protecting the ones you love. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com. Looking for a fun, affordable Saturday night out with the family? Check out the excitement of minor league baseball and then stay for an amazing fireworks display over Baycare Ballpark after Saturday night Clearwater Threshers home games. Whether you're hanging out with our mascot Finley or getting an autograph from your favorite minor league players, there's always something fun to do for everyone in the family. So go to threshersbaseball.com to get your Saturday night tickets now. And don't miss the best fireworks in Tampa Bay.
Folks, let me tell you about a gem of a restaurant in Carrollwood. It's Hank's Place, where you'll find some of the best barbecue, catfish, wings, sausage, gator, shrimp, and a whole lot more. Their meats are dry rubbed and slowly smoked. All of your favorite sides, too, from baked beans to collard greens to mac and cheese to onion rings. Are you hungry yet? Discover why Hank's Place at 8546 Northdale Maybury, just 100 yards north of Waters Avenue, is a place that locals have known about for years. Hey, would a guy like me lie to you about food? Hank's Place, a place to hang your hat and lick your fingers.
This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory.
For the first time ever, the home team is endorsing a place for all of you fishermen. And the winner is Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Almerton Road in Largo. Betts, that's Betts, is open 7 days a week from 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need, from clothing by AFCO and Skinny Water Culture to Shimano and Daiwa Reels. They also do repair of your equipment. Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Almerton in Largo. Online at customfishing.com.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the three-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity in Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with two N's, development.com.
Thanks for staying with us. Now more of the home team with Paul Porter and Jason Alessi.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Marshall O'Shields. And, we've had a lot going on. Obviously, talking about the Rays with a potential sale. We talked some hockey. We talked some NBA. And we're going to go to the calls now, but we're going to get to another question I think that was posed on Facebook. What is your biggest disappointment in all of sports, not just any particular sport?
Complaint.
But a complaint or disappointment.
And we'll get to that.
We're going to get
so
that.
Think about that.
That's a very good question we're going to get to. But we're going to go to the phone lines right now. We've got Mr. John Bychek on the line. John, how you doing?
Gentlemen, good morning.
Hey, this is I can't. It's not official yet, but the clouds are clearing a little bit, and we're getting some sunshine in terms of what's happening with our Rays. Obviously, it was going great on the field, but this news about the potential new ownership. What's your feeling about that?
Well, I think any new ownership is going to have a challenge getting money from the county, either County Pinellas or Hillsborough. Not a lot of people have enough money to buy the team and build the stadium, so we'll see. getting Sternberg out is the first step.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't want to work with us anymore. And while they signed an exclusive agreement to negotiate with just this one group, I'm certain if another number gets floated outside there may be some other exclusive agreements signed. So it's all about the Quan for him.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, John, I wanted to thank you for texting me always during the Rays game, but the other night was kind of funny because you hit me and are you watching? And it was funny. I took my boys out to dinner and it was 8-0. And I said to them in the second inning, and I said, you know what? This is one of those games that this can go either way. Either the Orioles are going to pile on, it's going to be a give up game and an outfielder is going to be pitching, or you got enough time to chip away. And then all of a sudden you start going, we could do this.
The fact that it was the second inning, when
Right.
I looked at it, and I was watching that game when I saw the score, I'm like, you got to be
So
kidding
that's the
me.
way those games go.
But, yeah.
It goes one of two ways. It either goes one way ugly or one way the other way
But
with the comeback.
again, what does that say about the Rays, their turnaround with their hitting, that they're able to come back from a deficit like that, and not only come back, but actually score 12 consecutive runs.
Right, but if you've played, you understand sometimes when you relax and it's like 8-0, you go up there with a little different mindset of, okay, I'm more relaxed. It's 8-0. We're not coming. Then all of a sudden something starts to happen and momentum is huge. It feeds in the dugout. You know that, John.
Well, the other thing too, a lot of people don't realize, if you think about it, and you're going to go, aha, when I tell you this, if you don't already know it. After that second inning, they scored 8 runs. The Orioles were no hit for 7 innings. They had 1 hit bat.
Which was that's the first time that's ever happened or something like that. I saw that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And people look at the 12 runs scored, but that relief corps coming in and no hitting them for 7 innings was a pretty big deal. So, I'm thinking here's a question for the future. Let's say we make it to the World Series. Where are they going to play the World Series?
I was thinking that same thing. To me, you keep it exactly where it's at this year. This is your home. I understand there's not as many seats, but the point is, even though it's a more intimate setting, it's going to be packed. There's going to be lots of standing room. It's going to have a great atmosphere. It's different. But to me, you've played there this whole season. That's their home right now. In the playoffs, in the World Series, I say keep it right at Steinbrenner Field.
I agree, but I don't think that'll happen. You know where I think it's going to go, John? You're going to probably be crazy. You think I'm crazy. I think they'll go to Atlanta.
I think they probably will too. I know the neutral site was in Texas last time because it was L.A. and Florida.
Right.
But depending on who it is, I think whoever plays in is going to have a little say-so as well.
I think
they're not going to allow their premier event to be at a minor league stadium, Jason. It's not going to happen.
I think it would be a horrendous mistake.
Hey, what do we talk about money?
Yeah, I know.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
I mean, what a slap in the face to the people here in Tampa, in the Tampa Bay area, who want to go to that. That would be a horrible thing, in my opinion.
It's a little bit of a slap in the face, Jason. But how many people are going? They're calling it a sellout every game, but there's plenty of seats available, and you can get plenty online. They're calling it a sellout.
Yeah, but in the playoffs in the World Series, that would change. People would. I mean, we know from the
Of course it would change.
Of course, but still, I mean, I think the people of this area should have an opportunity to go to those games.
But here's the thing, Jason. The people in this area don't have the opportunity. You know, those tickets would go to Major League Baseball. How many, John, would go to Major League Baseball?
Each team gets like 15,000, and then the rest go to the fans. And
right.
corporate.
Okay, so that doesn't even hold 15,000.
You're talking about guys that jump on the bandwagon and pull a muscle.
Yep.
Oh, I just want to go to the playoffs. Playoffs. You know, why aren't they going right now? I need you to go to 10 games, Jason. Go to 10 games.
I will tell you, I've been to 2 this year. I hadn't gone to a Rays home game in close to 10 years. That's
like 10 games, John. I have to say that.
So I've gone to 2. So look at that one. I went with one to one with Paul, and I went with another with some of my coworkers at the bakery, and it had a great time, by the way. So.
But I think they would move it. 100%. I agree with that's a great question, John.
That'll be interesting to see if that plays out. What'll happen there? But
got it.
But
all right, guys, just thought I'd chime in a little bit. They're playing well. Let's don't throw the baby out with the bathwater on the stadium. You never know what's going to happen there.
Yep.
But they're hitting well. Aranda should be our all-star guy as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, I agree. 100%. All right, buddy. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you, John.
Take care.
Always.
Right,
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you. And we got RCM, the Rubber Cement Man, online. RCM, welcome to the home team. How you doing?
So I'm doing okay. My pet peeve with all the sports is the amount of money that they charge for parking and food and all that other stuff. It's not that. It don't cost that much. They're just raping you with
That's
all
an
that
outstanding complaint.
Yeah.
I love that.
That
RCM.
is
That is
100%.
really, really 100% right
boy.
there.
I mean, let me tell you,
$50 to park at some of these places.
Yeah, and of course it was 32 for the. I mean, like the concessions. I could pay, anywhere, good $50 easy, 50, 60. The bottled water.
Yeah.
How about that one? That's going to do what, $10, $12 for water? Hey man, let me just find the water fountain.
In a stadium that you have to have water, or you're going to pass out.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, the prices there are outrageous.
Anything else you want to know?
You tell us.
We always love listening to you.
Hey,
what else you got?
How about
what do you think about the sale?
Well,
you don't sound too thrilled about it.
I really don't care. I'm not really a Rays fan with all that money and all that stupidity and all. It's just.
Well, they're one of our major sports teams. I mean, fans. We don't want them to leave.
See, I like you, but I don't like that attitude because we all benefit from having the team here.
Yeah.
Our businesses, our people, we all benefit from having a major franchise stay here.
It's got to be better than what it is.
Yep.
So I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully that's what the case will be. And
let's hope so.
We can get us a nice stadium where we can enjoy going, and maybe they'll bring the prices down. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that the WNBA will get more professional and realize that, Caitlin Clark is not a punching bag for all these little crybaby. What's wrong with these people?
I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah,
and she's not
jealousy.
going to last. She's not going to last. And that's going to be hard for them because as much as they don't want to admit it, she is the WNBA.
Well, you listen to start with the sports and certainly basketball. I mean, the NBA and WNBA are built by superstars, and basketball more than any other sport, I think, does the best job at marketing its superstars. Just about everyone knows the big name basketball players. So yes, I mean, Caitlin Clark being in the WNBA, that helps every player in that league. And
they're going up and trying to poke her eyes out. They're coming from 10, 15, 20 feet away and just like bulldozing her over like it's a hockey game.
You're 100% right. And they're going to have to get that under control or they're going to lose her because she's not going to be able to sustain that kind of. I totally agree with you. That's a great point. Well, we've got our complaints coming up. So thanks for yours. That was outstanding.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Y'all have a good day.
All righty. You too, RCM. Thank you for calling.
All right, Jason, I'll throw mine out there real quick.
Okay.
Mine was the amount of money that dictates everything that goes on in sports. And you had another take on it, the same type of thing. But my complaint is that, that we're changing the games because of money. We're putting in a pitch clock. We're putting in an innings clock to try to make the fans more attractive and more fans to go and more fans to spend money. And that's my biggest complaint about sports is that we adjust the games and we change things in order to make more money over and over and over. We add conferences, we add teams. It's so out of control. And Jason, you're going to piggyback on that, I know.
Yeah, well, I know mine is in specifically college football and of course the paying of the players. I felt that would open up a whole can without any restrictions on it or rules and regulations. And also with the transfer portal not having any limitations on that, a player being able to transfer after every single season. I just think it's made college football a sport of individuals and not teams, not team players. The players don't care about there's no school pride. There's no caring about their teammates, coaches, fans, anything. They're basically looking at from one season to another. I'm here for this season.
They're
at
all
this
free
agents.
School.
They're all free agents, and they're all always looking to jump ship. You don't play in bowl games. To me, that's another game of that season that all players should, if you're not legitimately injured, should be required in. And I also didn't like when they, even before that, when they started to change conferences, the domino effect, you create super conferences where there's so many teams in one conference that the majority of teams can't play each other in a single season. You've eliminated great conferences like the Pac-10 and Big East no longer exist. You've killed off traditional rivalries. I'm a huge college football fan and I still watch it, but I absolutely hate the changes that have been made in it, which to me is not helped the sport. So that's for me. But again, it relates to what you're saying about greed. When it's all about money and nothing else matters, again, especially in a team sport, it's no longer about the team. It's about the individual.
The thing, I totally agree with you, but the one thing that saves college football, especially, Jason, is the passions of the fans.
Yeah.
The passion of the fans. When you watch College Game Day every Saturday and you see
it's
the amount of people that show up and what they do, they're still rooting for that team.
Yeah.
The fans are the only ones rooting for the team.
And the alumni
the
of
players, they don't care anymore.
No. That's different. The fans of a university, they're with that
rooting.
university. They're with that school.
Yep.
For all time. The players now, the norm is going to ask, well, where did you play college ball? Oh, well, I played at Michigan. I played at Nebraska. I played at Florida. They're basically going to go list a line of who their teams are.
I think more the question is going to be is how much did you make when you were in college?
Yeah.
How much money did you make?
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of that. But anyway, we're going to hit a break coming up. Let me get the phone numbers, 727-441-3000. We'll be back right after this on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1350 and 1340, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the three-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity in Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with two N's, development.com. My favorite restaurant in all of Tampa Bay is J. Alexander's at the corner of Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of I-275 in Tampa. The prime rib is to die for. Steaks are just as mouthwatering, and that's not all. Seafood like salmon, ahi tuna, shrimp, or crab cakes. Don't forget the salads and appetizers like my favorite French onion soup, and top it all off with a homemade dessert. J. Alexander's in Tampa at Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of 275. Open 7 days, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Reservation suggested but not necessary.
Looking to elevate your brand with custom apparel? Look no further than Athletic House, your one-stop shop for screen printing and embroidery in Clearwater. Whether you need embroidery on your polos or full-color logos screen printed on T-shirts, our expert team will bring your vision to life with precision and quality. Family owned and operated for over 20 years, we pride ourselves on the personal attention we give to all our customers. Making your team look good is our business. Athletic House. Call us today for a quote.
This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. Happy 60th birthday, Cambridge Christian School. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning, here to tell you about the exciting growth happening here at CCS. Coming this fall is our state-of-the-art 45,000 square foot high school and STEM lab. For over 60 years, Cambridge Christian's award-winning academics, athletics, and the arts has been changing the way you think about Christian education. Visit us today at ccslancers.com. After a car accident, there are many questions that you need answers to. Who pays for my car repairs? Who pays for the medical bills? What about my lost wages? And more. The personal injury law firm of Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes has been answering these questions for their clients for nearly 70 years. Since 1955, they've been a voice of the injured in the legal system. As one of the longest established law firms in Tampa Bay, Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes is here to answer your questions. Listen to their live call-in radio show on this channel every Tuesday evening from 5 to 6 p.m. or call them at 727-796-8282 or visit them at voiceoftheinjured.com. Offices Clearwater, non-attorney spokesperson. If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments, no interest, and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, FASWD.com. That's FASWD.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the Home Team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. There when you need them, FAS Windows and Doors, FASWD.com.
Now let's get back to the home team with the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And welcome back to the home team. This is not Paul Porter. This is Jason Alessi, but Paul's taking this week off. But I've been very happy to be joined by my good friend Marshall O'Shields. And
you know what makes all this Rays talk even better, Jason? Is the fact that the New York teams combined are 1-15 in their last 16 games.
Yeah.
Is that not the best?
Well, of course, one of them,
that adds everything.
The one New York team, the Rays started that the
Mets.
meeting. They went in there to New York and swept the Mets.
1-15 in their last 16, and the Rays are rolling.
Hear that?
Is that not the best?
That does me no favors at all.
Anyway, well, we hope that, well, at least with the Yankees, we hope that continues because that directly affects us. They're in our division, so Baltimore keeps taking it to them. Want to bring this up? We might have brought this up before on one of the past shows, but Major League Baseball experimenting with the automated ball strike. Basically, the computer calling the balls and strikes. I know that they've been working with that a little bit in the minor league games, spring training games, where players would be able to challenge, I think, up to 2 challenges on a ball, a pitch that they thought, was went the other way when the umpire called it a certain way, and they would use the automated ball strike machine. Basically, it's kind of what we watch as fans looking at the game on TV. I believe, we see that little square, and it's just does the pitch pass through the certain point in the strike zone or not, and to determine if the call stands that made by the umpire or if it's overturned.
We don't need any more stoppages.
No, we don't.
I'm just saying I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't like it.
There's too many stoppages. Here's my question though. Forget about the challenge. Should that be permanent in terms of should the balls and strikes be just called by the computer where the umpire's behind the plate, he gets the call from the computer to say if it's a ball or a strike. The umpire, you still have to have an umpire back there to see a play at the plate to call safe or out for that circumstance. But my point is, should that automated balls and strikes be permanently implemented in Major League Baseball to call the balls and strikes as opposed to the umpire.
I said, I hate it. I don't want it. If I'm the umpire, I'm going to stand back there and listen. No. I'm going to stand back there and risk taking a foul ball off my face or off my leg or my elbow. And all I'm doing is relaying information. And not to mention, at the plate, they can look at that one too. So you can make the call, but they're going to look at that anyway. So why be there?
Okay, but I'm not interested in what the umpire thinks. I'm interested in, does it help the game overall? If what do we always hear about the umpires and the strike zone? Different umpires have different strike zones. Well, I'm sorry. That's not the way it's supposed to be. A ball is supposed to be a ball, or a strike is supposed to be a strike, regardless of who's calling it. But the problem is the human element. Different people, different umpires view it in different ways. Yeah. So, but what's frustrating to the players a lot, not only do during the course of some games, a pitch should be a ball, but it's called a strike. It was outside, but then it's not consistent. You'll have a pitch basically in the exact same spot called differently. One pitch, it's a strike. Another pitch, it's a ball. That inconsistency drives players and managers up the wall when it's like that. We've seen a lot of that recently.
Here's what I'll say. I agree. I know what you're saying. My question is, why don't we just go AI with everything? Be careful what you wish for, because it's all coming, and that I don't like it. That's what I'm saying. Human element is part of the game. It's been part of the game forever. Baseball's been around for 150 years. We keep trying to fix it. We keep trying to change it. We keep trying to change everything in every sport. I agree that, and like in football and in certain things, that you can look at things and make a difference. I think in baseball, with every pitch. Come on.
But my point is, that's why there would be no challenges. It's just the computer. And if it makes the calls more accurate and more consistent, to me, that could make the game better. And again, if you're going to talk about I get not wanting to do AI and everything, but why even have instant replay?
But you just brought up my point. Why are we always trying to make the game better? The game's fine. We don't need to make it better. I'm tired of trying to make it better. Leave it what it is. But I know what you're saying. You think you can make it better by a ball that is a quarter of a millimeter off the plate, not even getting called a strike, and that makes the game better? I don't think it does.
Sometimes it's clearly missed, though. And it's
sometimes the human element is always going to be there. I see what you're saying, but I don't like it.
It's one of those things. Break. Yeah, we need to hit a break. We'll be back right after this. Call us in and tell us what you think about that. It's 727-441-3000. We'll be back right next on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Now, right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments and no interest and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, faswd.com. That's faswd.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the Home Team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. They're there when you need them. FAS Windows and Doors, faswd.com.
Beach Dogs Friday are back this summer. On the last Friday home game of the month, the Clearwater Threshers become their alternate identity, the Clearwater Beach Dogs. Presented by Veterinary Emergency Group. Beach Dog Fridays are dog-friendly, and each dog ticket benefits a local pet charity each month. Bring your pup to play on the berm, eat a hot dog, and maybe meet our bat dog, Lucy May. Dog tickets are available for purchase in person at the Baycare Ballpark box office. All other tickets are available at threshersbaseball.com. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Buccaneers, and the home team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine. You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922.
For the first time ever, the home team is endorsing a place for all of you fishermen. And the winner is Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton Road in Largo. Betts, that's Betts, is open 7 days a week from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need from clothing to AFCO and skinny water culture to Shimano and Daiwa reels. They also do repair of your equipment. Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton in Largo, and online at customfishing.com.
10 years ago, my wife and I started a nonprofit ministry to help victims of domestic violence called Reach Out, Speak Out. Would you consider a donation to help our ministry? If you'd like to join our auxiliary board or just be a friend to Reach Out, Speak Out by helping with your time, talents, or treasures whenever you're available, please contact us by visiting reachoutspeakout.org. Please send your donation to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida 33677, 5013C number 47163. 0804. Much like the weather, your life could change at the drop of a hat. Don't be caught unprepared. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, but no matter what happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are provided for with a life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance. Meet with a local independent agent and secure a policy now to rest easy knowing you're protecting the ones you love. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com.
The Florida State Fairgrounds is home to so much more than just the fair that runs every February. Concerts, trade shows, conferences, and competitions are all just a few of the things you'll find at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater all year long. For the very latest information and schedules, visit floridastatefair.com. The Florida State Fair and so much more, all happening at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll see you at the Florida State Fairgrounds.
Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
Time for more of the home team. Here again are Paul Porter and Jason Alessi.
And welcome back. The final segment of the home team. It's been a nice show. Jason Alessi here with Marshall O'Shields. And, to get back to that what we were talking about before about the automated balls and striking, and you talk about you're not for that, and you think that the AI has gotten too involved in sports.
Next thing you know, we're going to have drones flying around out there making calls.
Well,
and
to some degree,
right over somebody's head.
And I don't like. I think too many things are reviewed, and I think that to some degree, instant replay it slows it down too much. Although, in some cases, if the call was clearly missed, I think people, whether they might say that they wish instant replay would go away to have it like it was beforehand. But if it affects your team, you might have a different take on that. That's just the way it is, I think. And
but I also think what it does to me, Jason, is we've all played sports. All right, so we were playing years and years and years, and guess what? We lived with bad calls. It taught us how to live with bad calls. It taught us how to live with adversity. We had to go on and try to do better because we got bad calls. We knew that. You know what that teaches these guys today? Nothing. They all stand up and go to their ears and show the earmuffs and say, "Look at it, because I was safe. I was safe." It doesn't teach them how to do it better or work with adversity, or let me put an oven mitt on my hand now and extend my slide by 8 inches so I can steal 900 bases. Things like that are just, it's ruining the game. It's ruining the game.
And there's some things I think too much is reviewable. Some things should not be reviewed. The situation with the balls and strikes call, that's something that if you were to implement it, it would be a main thing. It would be the computer would call it, and the thinking is maybe it's more accurate and it's on a more consistent basis. And from a player's point of view, I think the player would want it to stay accurate and consistent throughout the course of a game. I mean, if it's that way, the human element, you have the human error taken out of it. Now, you mentioned a good point. What if the system goes down?
The system goes down. And you say, well, we need you now. We need you now.
Yeah. So, and I know it's been a way for a
let's
certain
face
period
it,
of
Jason.
time.
We
You
were
don't
just
wanna
talking.
change.
It's ruined hockey. It's ruined hockey. They have too much they look at, slows the game down. It's ruined hockey.
The stupidest thing I think in hockey is having that where you could challenge for offsides when a goal is scored, but there was so much action going on in the zone prior to the goal being scored. The offsides basically had nothing at all to do.
Especially if it's a guy going to the bench or things like that, or the long change.
But I'm wondering in something like that, why that was even brought in to be a rule in the first place. That wasn't that way for the longest time.
Again, I think that's just one of the things I just said. It's just overthinking and ruining the game.
Yeah.
We're always trying to make things better, but do we really make it better? That's my question.
Yeah, good point. So there's that. Who do you like in the NBA Finals tomorrow night?
I don't know. I think Indiana's going to find a way. I think Rick Carlisle is deserving of a title. I think that that Oklahoma City's going to have their day. But, I mean, that home field advantage, that home court advantage in Oklahoma City is tough to overcome. But we'll see. I mean, I tell you what, Halliburton didn't look that hurt to me the other night.
No, he didn't.
The game before he did. But the other night, he didn't look that hurt.
I was hearing a lot of commentary from the analysts. They were saying that could have been a smoke screen. They're making it like he was hurt. Now, he may have been legitimately hurt the previous game, but maybe they made it out to where he might not be as hurt as
I like Indiana.
as the previous
I'm going to take Indiana.
Okay.
I think it's been a great final. Like you said, I'm with you, Jason. I hope it's a great game. Game 7's hype. I hope it's great. I hope it goes down to the end, and it's going to be great if it's a great game.
I would love to see Indiana win. That's who I'm going for. It's hard for me to pick against Oklahoma City here just because I do think they're the better team to begin with. I mean, they have the best record, and the fact that they are at home in a Game 7. And I think that getting blown out in the last game, I think that refocused them. It made them think, okay, we thought that this was going to be it. We're going to close it out. When you relax and you're not focused, that's what can happen.
But I think you brought this up before. The game changed this year for the NBA. What you have is you don't have $50 million a year players winning a championship this year. You just don't on either team. And I think that's great for the league. Yeah, there's some parity.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP, so he was considered the best player in the league, but he's still an unknown to a lot of people. Maybe because he hasn't been in the league real long, and Oklahoma City is a smaller market than others. I still say I think basketball in the NBA does the best in marketing their superstars.
They do a good job.
Throughout history, the basketball players probably worldwide more than any other athletes of any sport.
But you have, whenever you don't have Lakers, Celtics, Dodgers, Yankees, Chicago, when you don't have those teams, marketing and TV is just never going to be as high. Just like with Florida playing Edmonton in the finals, you're not going to have a highly rated series.
And personally, as a fan, I like seeing the different teams. I think the issue is for the casual fan.
I mean, you just brought it up in the NFL. So, bring up what you brought up in the NFL about it. Those same teams,
Chiefs, and
they're all the time.
What is it? They've been to 5 Super Bowls and over the past 6-7 seasons. Philadelphia. I mean, they've actually them and Philadelphia met in 2 Super Bowls in 3 seasons. So they played in Super Bowl 57 and last year in Super Bowl 59. So I mean, you've actually have the NFL has become almost the league of dynasties and seeing the repeat teams over and over again, even though we kind of think of the NFL as being a sport of more parity.
Yep.
When compared to the others.
But we see it because we see it. What I was talking to you before was I love April and May when we're going through these playoffs, and every night you're watching these great finishes and great games. You get so hyped, but then when you get to the final, it's almost like a letdown sometimes.
Well, it's like having the expectations. Having the expectations leads to disappointment, and that's the problem when it is so good in the hype. We used to see for Super Bowls for years, so many of them will be blowouts. Now that changed more in recent years. I know last year's Super Bowl was a blowout, but the majority of Super Bowls
have been way better.
But again, see, it's one game, and of course, series you play a multitude of games. Usually throughout the course of a series, some of the games are close, some of them are blowouts. But when it comes down to now Game 7, after the whole series has been played, it's a single game, and it could go.
Well,
either
that's
way.
the thing. All these games in this
options,
NBA series were good except for Game 6. Game 6 was a blowout, but the
Right.
other 5 games were all nice comebacks. They were close. You had great players making great plays, and it's been a good series. But it's not the Lakers. It's not the Celtics. It's just not. But
it could be the start of a new dynasty.
Hopefully,
That's
things
the
are
thing.
changing.
Right. Exactly. So hopefully that's a good game. Rays back at it today. Early game, 12-10 today, 12-10 tomorrow, trying to avoid the storms. Again, I think it's unlikely that they're going to sweep Detroit. Boy, it'd be nice if they could take 2 out of 3, though. And that's really in all the series. They're not going to win every game.
Nope.
If you can consistently win the series, take 2 out of 3. Or if it's a 4-game,
that's just what they're doing
3 out of 4.
right now.
Yeah,
that's what they've been doing.
They've worked their way back into it. Again, they're just one and a half behind the Yankees. Of course, Toronto, the Blue Jays are up there as well. I think the Blue Jays are only 3 games out.
One quick thing that we didn't get to mention was Biggie getting hit with the ball the other night.
Yeah, I know.
He's doing
Scary
well.
situation.
Things are okay. Could have been way worse.
Definitely, Hunter Biggie. Yeah, hope for speedy recovery. He is doing better. And Cash, Kevin Cash said he spoke with them. He's in good spirits, and so that's tough. Yeah, foul ball. You're that close there. We've seen it at fans too. Sometimes you're in certain spots, can be dangerous. Always have to be alert. But anyway, thank you again, Marshall. It's been a great show here. Paul's going to be back with us next week. Matt, thank you as always. Great job.
Go Rays.
Go Rays. And and go for just a good competitive NBA Finals game tomorrow night. Yep. That's going to be exciting. We'll be back next week on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3. And as always, Facebook
Live.